Hey everyone, good evening. This is Ankit again from StudyBuddy. Just give me 1 minute, let me see. Okay, again, awesome. So Minaz, I see your invitation, just give me 1 minute. So again, welcome everyone. So we could not finish our live yesterday because we had too many students who passed their September PCE exam. So we thought to conduct another live tonight so we can acknowledge those students who passed their PCE September. Again, the goal of this live session is purely to motivate anybody who's going for November PCE, and if somebody's preparing for exam next year, 2023, March, May, July, this can be beneficial to you also. Just stay there. I won't waste much time. Let's see, who do we have? Okay, all right. Let me get Minaz in, a few more. Let me get Kamal, Minaz, and Parth. Is this Minaz? Or
Yes.
is this Kamal? Hey Minaz, how
Hello,
are you?
how are you? I'm fine, sir.
Okay, great. Parth, right? Or is this Parth or is it somebody else?
Yes.
Hi, sir.
Hello, sir.
Hey Kamal, how are you? Kamal, right?
I'm
Okay.
good, sir. Yes.
Again, so want to congratulate all three of you because I don't think I got a chance to speak to you guys on Zoom. This is a big achievement. You guys should be proud of it, and it's really big. How are you all feeling now?
Relaxed. Great
Relaxed?
and relaxed. Yeah, really. Very
That's
much.
great. So again, this live session is again to acknowledge you guys for your hard work and all the sacrifices that you guys did. But at the same time, if you guys can share some tips for students going for exam in November or March or May next year. So, I mean, we'll start with Minaz. Minaz, share a little bit about your background because I know a little bit about you. After I talked to Siddesh, I got to know more about you. But before that, only thing I know about you is you were very active in class and answering all the questions. That's what I know. So, share a little bit about your background, Minaz.
Well, sir, I did my master's in 2007.
Okay.
And after that, I was working. And it's been 15 years since I have studied. So this was a great.
Yeah.
So the thing what I did was, obviously I joined StudyBuddy, which was the best thing that I did. It was recommended by a friend of mine. And I just followed whatever you told us right from day one. It was tough for me initially because I was working full time. I have 2 kids and, I was a full-time mom. So it was difficult for me to study. So what I used to do, maybe I think if I share this, it would be easier for moms who are giving the exam.
Yeah.
So what I did, sir, was I used to put on the recorded lectures. Obviously, I attended the live lectures. They were at 3 a.m. for me. But I did manage to cover all the live lectures because that.
And you're based in Saudi Arabia, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But right now I'm in Canada.
You're in Canada right now. Okay.
So I was attending these lectures every day. Before the lecture, I would take the printout for the PowerPoints that we have on the website, and I used to make sure that I make the extra notes that you would tell us.
Okay.
So that way I had the material. And in the evenings, when I used to do my house cooking and household work, I used to just put the recorded lecture, put on my headphones, and I would do my work. So I kept listening to the lectures quite a lot because I can grab a lot when I listen to someone.
Yeah.
So that way I saved my time and I was multitasking at the same time. I was not missing out on my studies.
Yeah, and you know what? If you have many other responsibilities, like if you have kids or if you have jobs, I have seen those students more innovative in their way of like studying or their practice, because they have very limited time and they
Yeah.
have to make use of that limited time in a smart way. So, and I also recommend always all the time that when you're traveling, when you're going to work, put on the headphones and listen to the lectures. So definitely it's a good strategy for moms out there. um, Listen to the lectures, buy some AirPods. It
Yeah.
can be beneficial, it can be a good investment.
Yeah.
And repeating the lectures makes a difference. That's great. Now one more question, Minaz, because even I'm trying to figure out what helps students the most. So now, did you come prepared for the class in advance, because you have access to PowerPoints and notes? Did you
Yes.
come prepared for the class in advance?
Yes.
You did.
Yes. I made sure that the previous night I saw the lecture that was posted for the previous groups,
Uh-huh.
right? For that particular topic, so that I had an idea about what we were going to have in that lecture.
Oh, yeah, that's
So
true.
when you
Okay.
spoke about that or you explained something, it just helped to reinforce that topic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
the time, I made notes and I wrote down the extra points that you told us to do. And then I used to get back and find those, like you gave us certain questions or something to find out. So I
Mhm.
would just go back to the books and check. But I didn't do much of books.
So the good idea was, yeah, you did not do much of books. You know what?
Yeah.
I get that question all the time from students, and even yesterday we had a lot of students who were saying that they were repeating the lectures, notes, videos, not too much of textbooks.
Yeah.
So in your case, and what's your score, if you don't mind sharing, Minas?
663, sir.
How much?
663.
663. And you did not do much of textbooks.
No.
A little
I
bit
just,
here and there.
uh, no, I think I went through some part of Kisner where there were the mobilization pictures and all. So I went through the pictures and the tables, just like quick. I didn't go by heart them or something. And I did go through cardio case studies from Read and Chart.
Read engine. Okay, that's great. That's great. Okay, awesome. So let's hear from Parth. Parth, again, congratulations, hard work.
Thank
And
you, sir.
anybody who passed this exam, it's like all your efforts. What do you want to share? Like any tips for students?
So
And I believe,
like,
are you in a bus right now? Is that a bus or train?
yeah, yeah,
It's
yes,
a bus.
that's, yeah.
Okay. So what do you want to share? Like I see that you have a busy life.
No. So like, I want to start with like, this is my like second attempt.
Mm-hmm.
In the first attempt, like, I was like just sort of like some points,
Mm-hmm.
but after that it was like difficult for me to start again because
Mm-hmm.
seeing the like
Yes.
first first time
Yeah.
like I couldn't clear, so it was like a bit difficult for me to start again. But then I like made up my mind that I want to do it anyhow.
Yeah.
So I again started like watching lectures of
Mm-hmm.
yours, like recorded lectures,
Mm-hmm.
and then I also maintained was the first time. So then I was going through the whole notes all the time, and
Mm-hmm.
slowly also like I did the questions. So in the last 2 months, I did the questions also unders and all.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that was like very helpful for me.
Now, did you have any mentor, Parth?
Yes. So
Who
I
was
took the mentorship from Ankush sir. So the
Ankush?
one thing Ankush sir. So one thing I would like to share about him is his mentorship was very helpful and unique. I don't know about others, but he used to like made us read from the like some textbooks and made us to explain. So it is not something like he gave the page number and like go and read, but he made us read in the class only, and so that we can explain from our side with our viewpoints.
Okay.
So that was, I think, that the best part of his mentorship.
So whatever you studied, whatever you read in the books, you had to explain it. Yeah, it
Yeah,
does. It does make a difference. That's great. That's
yeah.
great. Again,
So,
that's
so,
impressive.
so,
So,
like we can clear doubts at that time also. Like if we can't understand anything, we
mhm.
can clear doubt at that time also.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like last 25 days or so, he used to constantly ask questions,
Mhm.
like one on one, like in the class of like 5 to 6 people, he used to ask individually.
Yeah.
Like he made us think like what will be the answer and why this is not the answer. So like that was a booster.
And how many students were there in one group with you?
So in my group, like initially there were like 10 to 12 in both the batches, but we only 5 gave the exam in this
5 of you
batch.
gave the
5
exam.
of them, yeah, and all have cleared that.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know. I heard Ankush, all 5 of his students cleared the exam. That's great. Again, I'll go to Kamal. Kamal, congratulations, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
So I have seen. I think you shared with me that you have a family and kid, right? You do have a kid.
Yes, sir.
So again, it's very like difficult for me to understand how you guys manage. Like Minash shared some amazing tips, like because of the kids, it's hard to manage time. So the only time you have is like put on the AirPods and listen to the recordings, or maybe when the kids go to sleep,
Sleep, yes, sir.
watch the lectures. So let's go one by one. Let's say for musculoskeletal, Kamal, what do you want to share? Any one amazing tip for musculoskeletal system?
I won't say I do have any amazing tips, but I would definitely say that your lectures, I had no clue that we can think about that way because I was studying. I did not know about StudyBuddy before, but when I got to know about you, honestly telling, I didn't know that you could help that much because I was like, okay, let's join this course.
Then join the class.
But I was amazed. I was amazed, sir. Honestly, I wish I had you before.
So
But
how did you get to know about StudyBuddy?
I was there. I just joined some groups on Facebook, and somebody, okay, is anybody ready to be a study partner? And then everybody was like, I have joined this course, and I'm like, do we need to join it? And one of your students, she was also one of the partner, and she told me to join it. And she said, you will definitely not regret it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay,
Let's give it a try. Let's see what they can do.
Yes, sir. And I was like, where I was living, because I was planning to give in July. And then I started studying in March that, okay, I'll be fine. But when I talked to you and you said, maybe you can try, but I would suggest you to give 2 months and properly study.
Yeah.
And I did whatever you told me to do. I blindly, followed you. So I followed every tip. She said, follow ethics, how to do ethics. I did everything. So I think you are the one who made me clear this exam.
Yes,
That's great to hear.
Yeah.
I mean, that we feel good
For sure.
when we hear those things. That's really good. Anything about ethics? So before I go to the tips, now coming to the exam day, and we can start with you, Kamal. Like after your exam, how confident were you of your results? Like good, positive result?
I was very much confident. I finished my exam half an hour before, and I was like, did I do something wrong?
That
But
is
even during
impressive.
the exam, yes, sir. And during the exam, I was like, oh, I know this. There was nothing like that I didn't know about. You have covered everything.
Yeah.
And I was very sure that I will pass.
You will pass.
But
That's
yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. Because I did hear from many students, they'll be like, sir, I was 90% sure. Like after taking my own exam, I was not that confident. But it's good to hear from you guys. Like you guys are pretty confident. How about you, Parth? Like how confident were you after the exam?
Yes, sir. Like this time I was like pretty much confident because I also like completed my exam like 15 minutes before.
That
So
is
like
pretty big.
and during the exam also, the one study you gave, like the 50 questions, like take a break and all.
Yeah.
Like for like 1 to 10. So I was like ahead of my time. Like
Okay.
50 questions less than like 60 minutes.
Now, did you guys take any extra break, any rest breaks, in like any restroom break in between?
Like I took one break.
You took one?
Of
Okay.
like water,
Okay.
Yeah.
How about
Because
you,
I
Minaz?
have
Like,
I don't know much
Yeah,
time
yeah.
during the exam. So
okay. How about you, Minaz? How confident were you about your result?
Was confident because I finished my exam 10 minutes before the time. And after I finished the exam, I was like, was the exam really very easy or did I do some mistakes?
Sometimes we start questioning ourselves.
yes,
I really felt that because luckily lots of questions on ethics Ethics, like you had rightly said in our lectures, that isse zyada even the Canadians won't study ethics more than, and literally was we didn't even have to spend much time. I was like, is it like too easy, or I'm doing some mistake, you know? Am I being like too fast, or just the answer is right in front of me? So it was that way. And every time like I read questions about musculo, cardio, or neuro, there used to be Mayank sir's voice, your voice echoing that, yeah, this is the answer. And I didn't have to do any elimination there. The answer was right in front.
Wow.
So you didn't have to use the strategies too? Wow.
Actually, that's why, sir, when I finished the exam, I was not sure, like, was it was really that easy, or was it like something
I think,
wrong?
you know what, I think the problem was because July, some student had bad experience. So everybody was like prepared 200 times.
Yes.
More than like what they should for ethics or for anything.
Yes.
So, I mean, you guys were very much ready.
Yeah.
So again, I think it was your hard work, all of you. Now, one thing, if I ask you as, like Minaz, if I start with you, one thing you liked the most in the class, like from the class, something that helped you, that you think it helped a lot.
Yeah. So I would say that it's not that we all know, whoever is going for this exam, everyone knows how to study. Okay, because we have done our bachelor's, we have done our master's, we know how to study. But what we need to do, our put in hard work, but what we need to know is the right direction. If we keep doing hard work and we are not on the right path, we are never going to succeed. And this direction, the right path, was shown by you. So any of your lecturers, maybe you, Mayank sir, Pooja ma'am, Purvi ma'am, all the lecturers, I feel you all teach, you just put your soul and everything in the lectures. It's not that you're doing it for the, just for the sake of doing it. You just, and each of your student, you have like 250 students, sir. But you still know each of them, right? And you interact with us, even if you don't see us. I think you're seeing me for the first time, but you know who I am. And that is something, we have a kind of bond, all of you. And that really helps us. So you actually you actually teach us how to study smartly. And that's what we need for this exam.
That's awesome. That's good to hear. How about you, Kamal? Anything that you want to share, that anything that you applied in your preparation the most, and you think that was the most effective in your preparation?
I would say consistency in solving the questions. That's what helped me, because I was studying, and when I was trying to solve the questions, and sometimes I was making mistakes again and again. And that's what I realized, that I need to, because even your quizzes, your mock exams, they help a lot. You get to know how to study, because sometimes we miss just few words and the questions are based on that. So I would say consistently solving that. You say solve 50 questions every day from any resources. I did that, and I did listen to your recorded lectures, but not too much, because the time was short. But I did listen to them twice, every lecture.
Okay, so
And
lectures. Yeah, I do hear about the lectures and that a lot more than the textbooks, and I'm hearing that a lot, like from students, like they prefer lectures more than the textbooks, and because we keep getting students like, when do I have to read the textbook? When do I have to read the textbook? And I tell them, like, first finish the lectures, notes, build up your understanding, and then when we take practice exam and you make mistakes, or if your scores are not getting high, or if you're making mistakes in like rheumatoid arthritis or something that we have taught, but it was still not very clear in your mind, so it's a good time to go for the textbook. But like hearing from you guys, I guess lectures, notes, videos, and then only for mistakes go in the books, that can make a difference. All right, that's good. I'll let you guys go enjoy. Again, congratulations. Thank you for sharing amazing tips. And I'll try to have other people in.
I'd like to tell a few things about Kiran ma'am. I did my mentorship with her.
She was your mentor? Okay.
Yeah. And the thing was, I shifted to Canada in July. The end of July, I moved to Canada, and I was not sure whether I'll go for this exam. like because I had my full-time job and I was trying to give the exam. But then it was Kiran ma'am who said that no, you can do it. Give your best. Then I said, okay, ma'am, I think I can try. Let me just give this. But she's like quite structured. She knows what she has to get done from us. This questions, daily questions, daily discussion, and that last 15 days is something. It's like we are on to the full gear.
Yeah.
Speed doing
Game changers.
and really that I think that really helped me a lot.
So now, Kamal, were you also with Kiran?
Yes, sir.
So two
Because
of
I
you for
was
Kiran and one for
studying.
Ankush. Okay, that's great.
Yes, sir.
That's great.
And it does help a lot. Mentorship does help a lot because you get to know, okay, now this is finished. Now you get organized. So that helps a lot.
Somebody's there to push you. Otherwise,
Yeah.
for like if you're just in the main class, we'll tell you things to do. If you don't do it, nobody's like coming after you.
Yeah.
So, but again, that's good. Good mentorship helps. And I've been hearing about Kiran again and again every now and then. That's amazing. So again, thank you again for all of you. Like Minaz, congratulations. Kamal, congratulations. And Parth, good luck.
Thank you.
Enjoy. And make sure you guys help anybody who's asking you for help. That will make a big difference. And I was telling students yesterday that because you have your clinical exams, so if you help others, God will help you. Okay.
Yeah.
So make sure you guys help others. Okay. All right, guys. Have a great night and enjoy. I'll spend some time with other students.
Okay.
And you guys can exit so I can have other people in.
Yeah.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
So I'll try to get Ankita and then Bushra. Okay, great. Okay. Is that Ankita?
Yes.
Hey, Ankita. Congratulations.
Hi. Thank you.
And hi, Bushra, right? How do you say it?
Yes. Bushra. That's
Bushra.
correct.
Okay, that's great. Let's see if I have anybody else. We have Nisarg here. Okay, awesome. All right, so congratulations to both of you. I think I did talk to Bushra. I didn't get a chance to talk to you, Ankita.
Sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I think we have Nisarg. Who's that? Is it Nisarg? We'll see if he switches on the camera. So we can start with Ankita. Ankita, tell a little bit about you. Like, like a little bit about your background.
So I was in Canada for, I came over here for study, and after that I was in Canada for like 2.5 years. After that.
And you completed your degree here in Canada?
Yeah, I did like 2 years of diploma over here in administration, and after that, for the study, I went to India. I thought that it's a better option. So for the PCE study, I went to India, and I went studying over there. And from India only, I gave exam.
Oh, so, you were in India. So you went to India to study for
yes.
this exam. Okay, that's great. A lot of people do that. I hear, and not many are very successful because when you go to India, there's more distraction in India
yes.
than you have in Canada. You have more friends, all your college mates, your neighbors and friends. So it is tough, but glad that you were able to manage, Ankita. Now, what college are you from in India, Ankita?
I'm from a modern college. It's Pune.
Pune. Okay, yeah. That's great. That's great. So, Ankita, if you don't mind me asking, how much did you score in this exam?
I got 610.
610. Okay, and how many months did you spend on this preparation?
I spent 6 months. I was about to give in July, but then my mentor, he was like, you should not go for July.
Take some more time.
Okay. I'm very thankful to that I listened to him.
Who was your mentor?
Ankush.
Ankush? So he asked you to just wait and go for the next exam. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you know, that's one of the benefit of having a mentor. They can evaluate you because if they say you are ready, you are going to pass. It's not a question of whether you'll pass or not. You are going to pass.
And also when when he said that, okay, you don't go for July, then I was like, I was a little disappointed, but yeah, I was okay. I was like, no, it's okay to wait rather than go, July. Then I was not interested in study after that, little off track. But Ankush is like, he'll be asking every time, okay, where are you? What you're doing? How much?
Okay.
And
So he
then
starts bugging you guys. Huh?
yes,
That's a good
that
thing for a mentor
really
to do.
helped me. Then he he used to call us all, and then he'll ask, okay, what you're doing and everything. Then we made a timetable. So I got my study partner from there only, and so we made a timetable, and then we started studying. That's how I
Okay.
actually studied.
That's great. That's great. So that's awesome. Again, so I'll go to Bushra. Let's hear a little bit about you. I think we did talk Bushra on call, and
Yes.
I do know a lot. But what do you want to share in terms of tips for students who are going for exam in November? Like, what is that one most important tip that you
I
think that
would,
was the most helpful thing?
for me, after the July results came out, I started panicking and I was completely off course. So I would say it is very, very, very important to, at this point especially, to trust yourself and just keep going, keep studying, and practice as many questions as you can. If you think, oh, I don't have time to practice questions, because that used to happen with me, I would say, please don't do that. Just practice questions. You can study forever, but if you don't practice questions, you will not absorb the concept.
That
So
is
that,
an amazing tip because I keep telling them they don't listen from me anymore.
and
So good to
it's
hear from
something
students.
I've been through too. I thought that I don't have time to solve the questions. I need to study a lot. I need to open the books. But no, practice your
Yeah, and
questions. That's
anybody
gonna
who's
help.
listening right now, so what I tell you guys all the time is, when you guys read a topic from a book, let's say you read Achilles tendinopathy from a book, Kistner or Dutton, they will tell you what are the causes, symptoms, examination, intervention of Achilles tendinopathy. They don't tell you what is not seen in Achilles. So when a question comes, question has symptoms, what may be seen and may not be seen in Achilles, and now you're lost because I did not read this is seen or not. So by doing questions, you're not only getting better in eliminating and like with 4 other topics, because you have to eliminate 4 options, A, B, C, and then you'll be more sure like why Achilles is different from other 3 conditions. So by doing questions, like by studying, you'll know about Achilles, but by doing question, you'll know about how Achilles is different from other conditions. So it's important, everyone, anybody who's listening, going for November or March next year, as Bushra said, practice questions. We have a habit of reading more or reading more and more and more, but questions will make a difference. That's good. That's great to hear. All right, I'll go back to Ankita. Ankita, how about ethics? How did you manage ethics?
So obviously paid classes helped me a lot, and I went through all your classes. Also, I joined in like May, so I had all the screenshots of your May classes and I went through all of them. So it helped me a lot. And when I was in the exam, so I didn't saw any of the new question. Like I felt like, okay, I know this.
So everything was covered in ethics.
Yeah, ethics was very easy then.
Easy,
But
yeah. Yes, you may be thinking what was
yeah,
what those July students were talking about.
yes, I was actually thinking, and I was like, this is basic. Like
Okay,
this is
this is
basic.
an easy exam.
Mentioned that before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, July students had a hard luck. So that's great. So you just did lectures and notes, PowerPoint. How about reading the cases on the website, case of the month, or anything on the website? Anything you did?
Whatever you gave us, the PPT and all that, I did that, the case of the month, and also I went through a website of Ontario.
Ontario. Okay,
Ontario. That's all.
that's good. That's great. That's great. That's good to hear. How about you, Bashra? Like for ethics?
So everything that was mentioned right now, everything, and also to add to that, I think someone on the group had suggested to do the jurisprudence from the Alberta website. So I also did that, and I read all the case studies, which is on the Ontario website.
Okay.
It just helps you to like exercise your brain and practice scenarios, which can actually help you even in real life. So yes, I did all the lectures that were provided, the paid ones as well. and the PowerPoints and all the content that was shared by the PCE StudyBuddy team. Everything in and out. And I used to do ethics every day, 1 hour. Just that gets you in the practice of actually solving the questions. So yeah.
That's good to hear. Like, I think I'm reading some of the comments. Monica is our student, right? I believe Monica is our student. So Monica, as you're hearing from these students, September students, ethics is not that tricky. What we do in class, it's more than enough. And I can tell you, you guys may be working in a clinic, people don't know that much ethics. The ones even who are like, if you guys go for like both of you, when you guys will apply for a job, I was telling this to somebody. So when you guys apply for a job, probably you'll know more ethics than the guy who's going to interview you. Okay. Or you'll have more conceptual understanding than the guy who's going to interview you. Okay. So be confident, enjoy. Before I let you guys go, one thing, let's see if you can share a little bit about how about practice exams, like, because the biggest fear students have is when they take practice exams, first and second exam, the scores are okay. But when third exam comes, like, boom, there's a big drop in their performance. And then exam 4 again breaks you down. So how do you guys manage to stay motivated even after like scoring low and like hearing here and there about what happens to some students that if they miss the exam? What do you want to share about exams? Like, how did you stay motivated even after scoring low or whatever the scores were in third or fourth exam? We can go with Bushra if you want to share your thoughts.
Sure. So yes, the test 1 and 2, it was like a warm up. I ended up scoring good, like it was a fair score, I would say, not the best. And I was very happy.
Well, what was your score, if you remember?
I was in 140s.
140. That's good score.
Yeah.
You're putting pressure on.
But then you also said that you guys should score like 160. So I was like, oh, okay, it's fair enough.
Said that?
And, well, you know, here and there. But anyway, apart from that, I was really happy. But when I gave my third test and I scored 120, and I was like, it should actually progress. It should go up because I'm continuously studying. It shouldn't go back. So that was a big demotivation for me. But then I decided that whatever happens, I still have to go for the exam. So I kept revising the rationales, like you suggested, and also like going back and reading the topic of each question that I got wrong in the third test, because the third test was much in detail, which we needed. It was an eye opener, like we say. So yeah, just revising the rationales, and if you don't know the topic, go back, open the lectures, not the books, and go through that before you open the books. Because in my case, I had opened the books. Trust me, I did not remember anything after 2 days.
Yeah, exactly. So people are crazy about like books.
And that's why I did remember. Yeah, I did open them, and after 2 days, I'm like, what did I even study?
So one more question, Bushra. Like, how will you rate the difficulty level of PCE main exam versus our exams 1, 2, 3, 4? Where does that stand?
I think exam 3 and 4 were really difficult compared to our actual PCE test.
So it's like between exam 2 and exam 3, in between that.
Yes.
Difficult than exam 2 and then easier than exam 3.
Yes.
Okay, good. That's good to hear. That's what we have been hearing. Somehow in July things were a little different, but that's what we have been hearing from most students, like difficulty level is below exam 3 and 4. But again, it's very important to push a little bit so that you guys do more than what is needed for PCE.
Or if you're prepared for the worst, then you can do better in the test.
That's when you find the exam easy. Otherwise, many random people started texting us, and unfortunately they missed the exam. So they were texting like, can you guys help? So I guess that's the difference, because we kind of make it more difficult so that when you go for the exam, you find it more easy. That's great. Ankita, what do you think? What do you want to share about exams, practice exams?
So
in terms of tips?
E was very difficult, and actually that exam taught me a lot as compared to other. Like every exam, I'll find some or the other new things which I haven't covered yet, and then I have to go back and do that topics again. because I don't know about the topic. So in that way, I used to cover all the topics also while giving exam.
Yeah.
So that's why maybe when I was writing exam, I didn't feel like, okay, I don't know about this topic or anything, because you guys cover everything.
Yeah, but in those 4 exams, I think the goal is to cover all the topics, even something that we don't teach in class. The idea is to cover those topics via those exams. So I think, so how will you rate, Ankita, the difficulty level of PCE?
The first and second exam is easy. But third exam is very difficult. Fourth exam is like medium, I would say. It's
so PCE will be below exam 3, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's good to hear. So.
And also, I would say that when I was writing exam, I literally felt like I'm giving like first or second exam, mock exam kind of, because it was that easy for me. But I felt like I was over prepared for everything, because I can see the exam was very easy, and I felt like why it is easy. Because
you start questioning. Because we prepared more. You got to ask some difficult questions. Huh? That's good. Sometimes God is working in favor of you guys. That's good to hear. Again, thank you for sharing both of your tips for the exam. Good luck to both of you. And I believe if you guys need any help for the clinical exam, reach out to us. We do have a clinical course. But I'll say gain some experience, gain some clinical experience, communication and all those things, and reach out to us if you guys need any help for the clinicals. Okay. All right. Good luck. I'll see if we have any other students who want to join in.
So there's a question someone is asking, like, sir, can you ask that, did they find any question repeated?
Don't worry, you don't have to answer that. Because guys, I want to tell you guys, sharing exam question is inappropriate. It's not ethical, and they can be in trouble for that. But 1 or 2 questions gets repeated, it's not going to make a difference in your results. You have to prepare like completely. You have to understand the basics. You have to understand the concepts to pass the exam. Even if the questions are repeated, that won't make any difference. Okay. And trust me, what happens is, I can tell you one thing. Questions are repeated, few questions are repeated, but they are modified. So question is slightly modified, options are modified. So if you're going to like memorize any options, you'll be in trouble. So I can tell you one thing, CAPR 10 years back or 5 years back was different versus the CAPR now. They are actively working on like improving the quality of exams and making it more and more challenging. So you can only pass the exam if your concepts are good. If you are going to memorize anything, that won't make any difference. So questions are repeated, but it's slightly modified. Okay. So again, thank you again, Ankita and Bushra. Thank you for your time. So good luck for your future and stay in touch. Okay.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Bye.
All right, so we have, I can't see your name. With Vineet, right? Can you hear me? What's your name again? I don't see your name here. Vineet? Is that Vineet? Can you hear me?
Yes.
What's your name again? I don't see your name right now.
It's Nisarg, sir.
Nisarg, yeah, got it. Yeah. Nisarg. So Nisarg, I think you had some trouble joining.
Yes, sir. I don't use Instagram. So this is the first time I'm going live, to be honest. So
first time going, like even I don't use much Instagram, but we have to conduct such sessions for students.
Like this is the first time, like, so Instagram was like, what are you doing? Like,
you have to get used to it. Nisarg, you did so amazing in the exam, so we'll be inviting you for such sessions more often. I'll try to get Kalpit also. I think he's trying to get in, but I think he is having some trouble.
Yeah.
Kalpit, I'm approving your request. Maybe it's your Instagram is maybe you need to update. Oh, Kalpit is here. Hey, Kalpit.
Hi.
Awesome. All right. So again, congratulations to both of you. I did get a chance to speak to both of you yesterday, and I'll start with Nisarg. So just giving a little background about Nisarg. Nisarg is coming from Pioneer College in Vadodara, Gujarat, and Nisarg is our first student who managed to score above 700 in this exam. Out of 800, he managed to score 700. So you guys should be listening to what he is going to talk. Like, he can share something more than what I know.
Yeah.
So, and then we'll come to Kalpit. So Nisarg, what do you want to share? Any amazing tip, like most important tip that you want to share?
most important is like whatever you say in your lecture, just follow it, guys. So whatever Ankit sir says in his lecture, like to revise his lecture, like trust me, it does help. So just go through the lecture twice. So what I personally did was like I attended like live lecture first, and then later on I went with like the recorded lectures. So that was my strategy. And then once I was done with all the lectures, I started doing those quizzes on the website. So like, and I had, trust me, I had not touched like a single book before that. So so and so I went through the notes that were given on the website, and then I did all the quizzes and made sure like I go back to those quizzes and make sure like where I made those mistakes, so rectify over there. And then at the same time I started solving some questions too from some other sources. So after that, like I decided to go for my September exam. Uh, so I called you at that time, like I'm planning to go for September. So once I started giving my mock exams, I started opening those books and before that, no books. Yeah, so just don't open the books before the mock exam. I mean, they're not
before the mock exam. Yeah. And you know what? It's the reason is even if you open books before the mock exam, you're mentally not ready to absorb those things. Because you're not in that mindset to study that extensively. You'll be in the mindset after the exam 3, like, no, I think I'll have to study things extensively. And at that moment, when you open the book, your level of attention, your concentration, and whatever you're going to read in the book, McGee Kistner, everything you'll try to focus and understand. And then it will make more sense and you'll remember it. If you read books in the beginning, total waste of time. As I tell everyone, lectures are quite intense, PowerPoints are quite intense, notes are good. So that's good to hear. So one more question to you, Nisar. How about the quizzes, the one that we have for joint-wise on website? How helpful are they?
So, sir, the most important about those quizzes is like it gets into that mindset like of solving questions. Like if you don't get into that mindset, like how to solve those questions, then it's gonna be really difficult later on because the questions get like harder and harder. Like those ones like are a little bit easier than the ones in the mock exam 3 and 4. So I recommend at least to get into that mindset so you know like what's coming in the future. So like you can like tackle those questions like really easy, and also like you can make a habit of like finding keywords in those questions. So like that helps a lot during those
questions. So you did all the quizzes. Now, when did you do the quizzes? Like once you were done with the lectures, or along with the given schedule, or when exactly you did those quizzes?
No, so I watched all the lecture twice, and once I was confident, like I know the concepts, I went back to read the notes, and then after reading the notes on the website, I started giving those quizzes like one by one. So I was like doing one quiz per week, so like 1 week shoulder, and then like hip. So just going progressing like step by step over
that's
there.
Great. That's great to hear. That's great again, Nishant. So all right, I'll go to Kalpit. Kalpit, again, you did share with me amazing things about you. Now, Kalpit he did his master's from Ahmedabad, right? VS? Kalpit?
Yeah, I did from VS.
And we had some connection with VS. Like we have a lot of students from VS in the past, and I know I also got a chance to meet with your principal, I guess. And I remember one of our students, Yash, he's also from VS. So he has been a big promoter of us everywhere. So, and I'm very confident with anybody coming from VS. Like you guys are already like top of the notch. You guys are going to pass the exam. And Kalpit, I have to say one thing. Like, and when did you graduate from your BPT, Kalpit?
I graduated in 2011.
2011, and you did your master's in 2014.
Yeah,
completed
2013. Yeah,
2013. Now, from after 2013, you did not go to school or college or anything, right?
No, not at all.
So, because you know, Kalpit, when you started attending classes from day one, because I can judge. Okay, this is going to pass. This student is going to pass, and that was my perception about you. And I was like pretty impressed. Like, you knew things, you knew answers. You were not like giving a guesses. You were like to the point. How did you manage like to stay on top of theoretical knowledge even after staying out of these textbooks for so long? Even though you were like you have a lot of clinical experience, but I personally feel I think you have something more than just a clinical experience. Like, how did you know all of that?
Actually, when I was doing my practice, I always use whenever any new case came to my mind or I new case I'm seeing on hospital. So I will use to open the book and find on Google and research what's the current treatment or what the sign and symptom. So all that clinical experience helped me. But some of the concept that you have taught, I never come across.
Okay.
So yeah.
So that investment was helpful, huh?
Yeah, that because the clinical experience only the case wise, but the basic that I realized that I need that those type of concept to know in future also, and when I'm practicing here in Canada. So yeah, that's helped me a lot.
That's great. That's great. So any tip, Kalpit, that you want to share with students? Now, before we go for the tip, I think Prachi has a question. How many months did you guys take to prepare for PCE? So Kalpit can amaze all of you. How many months did you take, Kalpit, for your preparation?
Actually, I joined this classes in February, but I'm here in student visa. So that time my first semester going on. So I just watch your live videos whenever get time, and after that I second time I watch and makes a note. So up to April I didn't do too much, and after that I started my preparation. So I will say that to 5 to 6 months I took to clear this exam.
Yeah, 5 to 6 months is minimum anybody needs. I think Prachi has a question. Is it good to revise by yourself first, then or directly join StudyBuddy? What do you guys want to answer?
Join StudyBuddy. I mean, if you're gonna revise by yourself, you're gonna end up opening the books. And trust me, like the words given in the book, you won't understand. Like even they are right in front of you, you won't understand like what it's trying to say. So concept is not up to the mark at that time.
Exactly. How about you, Kalpit? What do you want to say to those students?
Yeah, I think I would say just join StudyBuddy because I think you guys are conducting these classes more than 3 times per year, and you are 4 times, and you are working these classes for more than 5 to 6 years. So you have lots of experience, and you are dealing with so many students with different mindset. So you can guess the. So whenever any student want to join, so maybe you can get guidance from the Ankit sir and other teachers also. So because physiotherapy is very wide field, and when you open the book there are lots of information, and there is no need to read all this thing. So
I think before you guys we had another student, Kamal, and not just Kamal, we in last 7 years I've met so many students who try to study by themselves first, but then when they start the classes, the same thing that they studied, they're like, I did not study this. Like, I have no idea what was this and what is he talking in class. So it's like a completely different level. And we do have a lot of basic content, like recorded lectures, like self-study lectures. Did you guys get a chance to watch those anatomy lectures, basic anatomy lectures?
Definitely.
Yeah. So those basic things, even if you study by yourself, you may not be able to reach to that level by yourself. Some of those recordings are designed to like quickly take you to another level. So it's recommended. I also recommend to start because we give you access for the whole 1 year. Keep repeating those basics and recordings by yourself. And then if you're thinking that yes, live classes can be very challenging, like shoulder biomechanics and all at first, but trust me, give yourself 3 months, study hard for 3 months, you'll be good in the next 3 months, next cohort. So all right, so I'll go back to Nisarg. What do you want to share about any, like, during the exam day, after the exam, or during the exam, any strategy that you followed? One thing is like a lot of people say that start with standalone questions.
Yep.
What did you do? Did you start with standalone or did you start with the first
Yeah.
question?
So for our exam, like the standalone question were like basically all ethics, like 90% of them were ethics. So I started with them, and then my strategy was to like complete 100 questions in 2 hours and then take a break. I took a big bottle of Gatorade with me that day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the reason you crossed 700.
So like my strategy, like so after so and what I did was like I tried to solve like 50 questions in 1 hour, and then I did not flag more than 5 questions in my exam, like in those 50 questions. So I tried to do like about like 45 questions in 1 hour, and like after 2 hours, I took a break for 5 minutes, had like a full bottle of Gatorade, and then with fresh mind started solving those 100
Went back in.
questions. Yeah.
That's a big bottle to finish.
Yeah.
That's a big bottle of Gatorade
Like
to finish.
in like 2 minutes. So that a lot. I mean, I needed that sugar rush at that day. So
you did take a break of approximately 5 minutes. Now, Kalpit, did you also take a break in your exam?
No, I didn't.
You did not. Now, did you guys both of you take exam from the center or from home?
I took it from the center, sir.
Yeah, I also.
From the center.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So taking a break as recommended by Nisarg, and then like he did not mark too many questions. How about you, Kalpit? Did you mark questions in your exam a lot? Or?
Yeah, some question I mark as Nisarg said, and my mentor Kiran Nas said me start with the last 25 question, because when we reach that 175 question, it will be hard. And so sometime it's happen when you go that question, you drain out. So it will be difficult to concentrate, and maybe it is easy, but you made silly mistake and you got wrong. So that's why I started last 25 question, and as Nisarg said, it all ethics questions, and it was easy, like piece of cake.
Okay, that's great. So ethics, so technically nowadays, in all the standalone questions are becoming ethics questions, which is good. I mean, if your understanding is good of ethics, you should be able to manage. And then you guys came for the. Now, did you guys follow any strategies, any highlighting, any keywords, any like?
Yes.
Did you guys follow those strategies in exam?
Yes, sir. I personally like, even in my mock exam, I like to highlight all the words, and use the same strategy in my exam too. So that helps a lot. I mean, I know like you can't go and mark like the same question again and again, but at least you have that in mind. Like that's what's the question is asking about in the next, in the vignette style. So I mean, it does help.
That's great to hear. Let me see if Prachi is trying to get in. Okay, I don't know which Prachi is this, but let me get her in. Prachi, did you already pass your exam? I'm not able to recognize you. Which is so. Again, thank you to both of you for sharing some amazing tips. I'll say good luck. And now, after the exam, one last question. After the exam, did you feel that you're going to pass the exam? Like, what was that confidence? How will you like give a percentage? Like, I was 100% confident, or I was like, what was the confidence level?
Sir, as soon as I got out of my exam hall, the first thought I had in my mind was better than expected. That's what I said to myself, like better than expected. But
that is the confidence.
Yeah. So, but I always had like the fear, like at back of my head, like I don't know like how well I did, but I knew like I did well, like better than my expectation. But I never imagined like I would score like so much.
700 is amazing score. Like, in which section did you score the highest?
I guess it was musculoskeletal.
How much did you score?
712 in musculoskeletal.
712. Okay, that's awesome. So, first time hearing anybody like what I taught that helped a student. Normally they keep scoring bad in that section. So again, how about you, Kalpit? What's the score, Kalpit?
644.
644. That's great. That's great. Any last thing? And how confident were you, Kalpit, after your exam?
Yeah, when I step out from the exam center, and I sure that 80% I will pass this exam. So I was very confident, because first I was thinking that I will appear in July, and I also asked you that I should appear, but that time I was not confident, and I postponed my exam to September.
Okay.
Yeah, and prepared myself.
I think it was a good idea. What happened? Moving away from July was a good idea. It was a little unfortunate thing in July, but that's good. Good thing. I mean, I think God wanted you to go for September. So again, yeah, good luck to both of you. Again,
thank you.
it's amazing to hear some amazing tips from both of you. Again, stay in touch. If you guys need any help with us for the exam, just let us know.
Sir, one more tip. Can I go?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay, so my mentor Kiran madam, like what I used to do was like I used to change answer in my mock exam. So Kiran ma'am told me like you gotta stop that habit, like going back and changing the answer. So I followed her advice. So huge shout out to her.
That's great. I think I have been hearing like both of you work with Kiran, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's I've been hearing a lot. Kiran has been amazing. What is that one thing about Kiran that you guys like the most? We can go with Kalpit. What do you want to share? One thing about Kiran that you like the most?
Yeah, her nature is so good. She's very calm, and she always ready to help you, whether it is day or night, and she always motivate you, and she's very focused and organized, and she gave us like 3-month timetable, and every time she asked every student what's going on and how are you doing, and if any student need help, she's always ready. And her technique, like that you said, the one tip I will share, the students who are going for November and March, that doing practicing 50 MCQ every day. So that I started.
Which are these MCQ? Like, from where do you bring these 50 questions? Are they the one quizzes or exams?
Yeah, as you said, Saunders and other therapy aid books and all the question and quizzes. And the techniques to solve this MCQ question is very important, because if you do this practice every time by this technique, then in exam it will be very helpful to find the right answer. Because every time I heard that every student stuck between two answers. So the like anticipating.
That's great. That's great. How about you, Will? I keep missing your name here. Nisar, what is that unique thing about? I think you already shared about Kiran. Anything unique about her? Like, what was so amazing?
Sir, the way she conducts her like review classes and then like her mock exams, like those really, and then those content review classes, like those revision classes, like every week she takes. I mean, that helps us to keep us on track. And then she gave me one advice, like just to use your common sense during this exam. So I followed that one too. So that's the bit of advice she gave me.
That's great to hear. That's really amazing to hear. Again, thank you again. So good luck here. I'll end this live. Thank you for coming and sharing those important tips. Anybody who's listening, these are amazing students. They passed their exam first attempt, both of them, and most of the students passed the exam in first attempt. So it's not a big deal to pass your exam in first attempt. Like everybody, majority of them are passing the exam in first attempt. Sometimes things go wrong here and there, but it can be done. It is an achievable task. And all these faces are, if anybody who's listening right now, these faces are not like something who came from some other part of the world. They just were your classmates in the class. You must have seen them in class answering questions and all. Nisarg was a quiet one. So again,
I was always.
Nisarg was a quiet one. I know Kalpit, he was answering the chat box. So you guys can learn. It's not a very challenging exam. You just have to use your common sense, like what Nisarg mentioned, and use strategies, what Kalpit mentioned. One last thing I want to share is, I was talking to some students recently. They studied a lot, like way too much. They finished all the lectures, all the notes. But then when a question comes, not able to think, why A, why B, why C, why D. That thinking is very important. So it does not matter how much you read. But if you're having problem in thinking, or you cannot accept any rationale what book says, because sometimes I hear from students, they say that, oh, that other student said it's how it should, this is how it should be. You cannot just accept like that. At least counter, like ask yourself why, like, is there any logic? Because if you don't have any logic, you will not be able to remember it for a long time. You'll forget it. So you need some concept behind everything that you're trying to memorize. Otherwise, things can get very, very challenging. So again, thanks to both of you. Good luck for the exam. I believe there are some questions if we can address. I think earlier Shri was saying, Sushma was asking how many questions? Close to 50 questions were there in ethics. So, and all of them, as you heard, were covered in the class. So it is manageable, but close to 50 questions. Okay. All right. Any other question? 175 minute, 15 standalones. Yes, that's great. So close to 25 standalones and 175 minutes exam. And all the students from Kiran's mentorship, they take the standalones first.
Yeah.
Because that's what she tells them. So, but again, it's up to you. It's your choice. But seems like that has been working. Hani has a question. What is a better way to study? To go for all the modules on daily basis, or we should complete MSQ? Not like keep study all the subjects in the same day, but like 2-3 days of muscular, then switch to cardio, 2 days of cardio, then switch to, so keep switching. You should not be like studying muscular for 15 days. Trust me, you'll start hating McGee or Kistner if you study for a same subject for that long. So that's my recommendation. Whole exam is minutes. Krishna, the exam, like 175 questions are minute style, remaining 25 questions are standalone. Paper and pen with us. So yes, Promet, if you're at the center, they do provide you pen and a sketch paper where you can write things. So, and there's a notepad on the screen also. All right. All right. So I think we answered most of the questions. Are we allowed to get up and go to the washroom? Yes, you're allowed, but the timer will stay on. It's not going to stop. So it is, you'll lose probably 5 minutes, but you will be more efficient after that than you'll be doing without a break. So again, thank you everyone for joining us for this live. It was amazing. Thanks you for sharing all the tips. We'll probably try to have more live sessions like this where we'll invite other students who can share important tips. Again, congratulations to both of you, Nisarg and Kalpit.
Thank you.
Thank you for keeping our flag high. I'll say just help students if anybody reaches out to you. And let us know if you need any help for the clinicals, okay?
For sure, sir.
Definitely.
All right, guys. You have a great night. Enjoy. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Have a good night,
Bye.
sir.
Bye.